Okay, welcome to GrassRoots TV. Aspen Roots Community Network, the oldest community access TV in the USA. Well, this is going to be a very special day because we're high up in the Rockies where the good vibrations go. And one of the greatest vibrations I've ever had the great honor to know is John Barnes from the Ultimate Taxi. And he is here with us today. And I want you to keep an eye out if you're around town. Check out this Aspen Luxury Life. It's an article in it. It has a great picture of John Barnes leaning against a cab around town. And I'm just going to quote the very beginning. It's by Joni White. Is it Joni or Joanna?
It's Joni.
Joni White. Aspen is filled with colorful crackers. We're crackers, that's what we are. Characters who oftentimes leave big impressions with their style and flair for the eccentric. Yes, sirree, one of these larger-than-life, long-time Aspen locals, John Barnes owns and operates a most unique and whimsical year-round cab service-based business with a twist, appropriately named the Ultimate Taxi. Let's give a big round of applause for John Barnes. Hey, John, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me on the show and the introduction, and
Cool.
Thanks, Joni, too.
Yeah, we got to thank the Aspen Luxury Life. What a great image.
You know, the one thing that, she calls it a taxi service, and really it's not a taxi service because if you're in a hurry to get somewhere, you're in the wrong car. My goal is to give you an experience that you can remember forever, and it really has nothing to do with where you're going. It's where you're at when you're in the Ultimate Taxi.
Absolutely, because you end it with the taxi in life. Your journey is the destination, which is an interesting twist you did on that, I must say. So here we are. We're on a journey continually. So one of the things I want to ask you, John, is you're originally from New York.
I am originally from New York City,
You're a
yes.
New Yorker kind of guy.
Came out here when I was 20 and started doing a bunch of odd jobs. I filled vending machines and worked at a dry cleaner and breakfast and lunch cook, and drove a taxi in the wintertime for Mellow Yellow. And one day I was cooking breakfast and the dispatcher from Mellow Yellow came in for breakfast and said, "Hey, one of the guys is selling his taxi. You should buy it and go to, come to work with High Mountain Taxi." So basically I did. And first night I worked was Halloween night, and it was crazy. Everyone was dressed up. It was just a mad working all night long on Halloween night. Everyone's out there and dressed in crazy outfits. And I realized that driving a taxi at night in Aspen was more than just a job. It was more like being in a movie. So I figured, well, why not make my taxi ride one of the highlights of the people in that movie? So
There you go.
and it gave me an excuse to buy expensive toys for myself and make the town a little more colorful than if I weren't around.
Yeah, it's like a Fellini movie you're in.
Yeah.
Well,
But I feel like a dinosaur from a bygone era sometimes, because
Well,
so many things have changed since the 1980s, and I'm still kind of doing the same thing, maybe with higher tech equipment, new technology, but basically, just trying to make people ride memorable.
Persistence and consistency is the key, right? They say 90% of success is showing up. So here we are. So we got that part down.
And a little bit of luck, because we
No.
all haven't made it here.
Luck, I think.
If you're still here with us, glad to have you with us.
Hey, one of the things I want to do real quick, and I meant to do it right after I did that little introduction, was I'm going to read a poem, because this poem is specifically for John, or for all my precious friends. And I just had to share this with you. I usually share it at the end, but we got something special at the end. We're going to show you. We're going to take you for a ride in the Ultimate Taxi, so stay tuned. Okay, here's the poem. The poem goes like this. Here at the end of a rainbow, I am in a spectrum of color, a place hidden in a valley, deep in the Rocky Mountains. Spirits come from distant places, north, east, south, west, a crossroads of multi-cultures, to set themselves free and do their life dance, finding it full of treasures, each one so precious and unique, like bright crystal star beings. You keep dear in your heart in a village named after a tree, Aspen, a mythological place of cosmic proportions for sure, here at the end of the rainbow. And that's why I have John here today, because he's a special guest. He's one of those kind of treasures I hold dear to my heart. I've known John for a long, long time. And he's a special, precious gem to me. I've been around when his babies were born.
It's true.
And you got 2 kids.
I have actually 3 kids. But
That's right. Now you got 3.
but one is 30, so she's grown up. But got 2, 18-year-old, 20-year-old. The 18-year-old, you may have seen him in the paper around graduation time. He got a lot of awards, academic awards and musical awards and stuff like that. His name is Daniel. Always has a smile on his face. And if you see him, say hi. He's very friendly.
How about Jason?
And Jason, well, he's not quite as involved in all the musical things in the Valley and stuff like that, but he's a good guy too. Maybe you've seen him working in basalt, waiting tables.
Well, you can't miss them. They both got red hair.
Just like you.
I know. It was kind of confusing at the first, but I go, no, come on. Those boys are kosher.
When people ask me, how do your boys have red hair? I go, well, my friend Hinton has red hair.
It's in the family of love. Well, and the thing about isn't it fascinating? When you think about Daniel really takes after you. And then Jason, he's going for the nursing career.
I don't know. We'll see how it all pans out.
And be like his mom, Beth, your wife,
Yeah,
Beth. I mean, Beth is a nurse at the Aspen Hospital.
That is true.
And she's just been at that for a long, long time. So now let's we introduced the children. You know, you got some amazing kids, and even Jessica, your daughter, she ended up going to Pepperdine, and she's like, that's the thing that fascinates me about this valley. Every kid I know, all my friends that have kids, their kids are brilliant, and they go off and do amazing things. Jessica went to Pepperdine.
Jessica's now called Dr. Ford. She has her PhD, teaching in a university in Ohio right now, and it's all good.
Absolutely, she's like, how old is she? She's not, 30, you said,
yeah.
right? But she had pretty much, about 23, she was already teaching, wasn't she, or something like that at Pepperdine? As a substitute? What was it? What was she doing at Pepperdine? Didn't you say she was teaching?
She was a student at Pepperdine, and then she went to graduate school at the University of Texas, and took a year off and went to Australia, and then finished her PhD, and got a job and married another PhD doctoral student, and so got 2 PhDs in the family. It's all good.
It's incredible. I don't have those genes. I wish I had those genes. You know. Okay, so where are we now? What have you got you want to share with us? Come on, it's like we've talked about the family and amazing things that they all do, and that they obviously taken after you and Beth. What are you up to now that's creative?
Well, you know, one of the new technological advancements in the taxi has gone from start out in the pre-digital age with Polaroid pictures I took of the groups of people in the back, and then it progressed to a variety of the first digital camera was a Kodak, and then I had a couple of Kodak cameras and a couple of Nikon digital cameras, and now the latest camera is a 360-degree camera. It's actually right here. It takes photos of the entire car and everybody in it, including me. Maybe you've seen the pictures on Google Maps or on Facebook where you can spin them around on your phone or on your computer with your mouse. They're taken with these type of cameras. There's other ways to do them too that are more technical, but for a small area like the taxi, this camera does a really great job. And these pictures can be viewed with virtual reality goggles on as kind of a 360, like you're back inside the car. So with this camera, I'm hoping to create a virtual reality app so that when you ride in the cab, you end up transported from the taxi into an app where you can experience the ride again in virtual reality. So it'd be like the first taxi ride into a virtual reality app.
And you're doing some promotional work, right? Don't you have another business besides Ultimate Taxi? Don't you have one that's the John Brown's Promotions?
I'm doing some. I'm using this 360-degree camera. I found recently that you could use it and work your way into businesses from the street and extend Google Maps into places that their cars, when they drove around the city streets years ago, I mean, they're continuing to drive around, but some of the pictures are several years old, and some places are newly built up, new businesses, and with this camera and a monopod and a cell phone, I can create a virtual tour of your business and upload it to Google, working with Google Maps, so that people that are looking at Google from the street level can wander into your place of business and also see those pictures from any search result on any Google platform. So kind of a cool way to enhance your business, let people, it's not for every business, but say you're a hotel or a restaurant, you like people to see what the place looks like, because you engage people online, and there's more of a chance that they end up making a note of that and coming into your business. So kind of affordable 360-degree photography. Can't really do it with your phone indoors. You can take pictures with your phone that are 360 with certain apps on your phone, where you hold the phone up and take a series of pictures while spinning around trying to keep the camera in the same place. But as you walk in a circle, it's difficult to keep the camera in the same plane, so you end up with poorly matched photos that are stitched together by the camera or the phone software. So this camera does it all in kind of one snap, and it's serviceable and it's affordable. There's more expensive ways to do it with high-tech cameras and multiple pictures, but those cost thousands of dollars for businesses to engage in, and I'm trying to do something for just a couple $100 that every business can afford.
Good idea. I've seen some
And
of
it's fun.
Yeah, and
It's important. It has to be fun.
that's right. And it's creative. I've seen some of the images you've created, and they're of the virtual. You remember iPix? Wasn't iPix like kind of you always you're enterprising. You're always jumping on something and doing it. You remember when you got the iPix?
It's true. These 360 photos are nothing new. Back in the 90s, they had a system with a fisheye lens on a digital camera and a special tripod that spun it around and kept the plane of the camera's sensors in the same place. And yes, you could do 360 photos, but back then, the pictures were, from a camera that was 2 megapixels.
And it kind of distorted them a little, right? I mean, it was kind of stretched because
Just the fact that in order to create an image that's 360 degrees, where you're only looking at part of it at a time, these pictures are 30 megapixels, so there's more than 10 times more information than the old photos. So the resolution is improved, and the stitching technology. But yes, this idea has been around for a while, but it does take up a lot of data to do 360-degree photos that are 7,000 pixels by 3,500 pixels, and they're not even as sharp as they're going to be when the next couple generations of cameras and cell phones come out that do 8K video instead of 4K.
Or hard drives, your desktop. So are we talking about this, or are you talking about the iPix? I mean,
well, the iPix was similar, taking 2 pictures and stitching them together,
right.
But back then the technology hadn't really caught up. You couldn't pick up your phone and spin the picture around, because in 1999 your phone was a big like Maxwell Smart shoe phone kind of size.
Right. So. Well, the interesting thing about it, and one of the things that we've been doing every year, is you stay on top of all the new technology. We go to a National Association of Broadcasting in Las Vegas and check everything out, and you always pick up stuff and bring it home and play with it. And we had
those trips to the trade shows are just an excuse to hang out with you and have a little bit of fun.
Exactly, I agree. I have no.
Who knows? We might stumble across something useful, and if we do, great. It's a bonus.
Yeah,
it's a win-win no matter what happens.
Absolutely. It's always fun to just go hang out, go to some shows and go out to dinner.
And when you live in a quiet mountain town, stepping into Vegas with the 24-hour, lighting effects, where capitalism has gone astray, and they've spent so much money to try to out illuminate their hotel from the guy next door. There's something to be observed there, even if it's garish and and different.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like Vegas.
A lot
but I
of
mean,
people don't.
No, and they could keep it there, but I'm always impressed with the money.
It's a science experiment. That's
That's
all.
right, exactly. It's
You have to
developed.
observe it and take it for what it's worth. Certainly would not want to live there. My God.
No, and it's impressive what money can do. I
Even
mean,
3 days is almost too much.
I know it
2 is good. Yeah.
Right. Well, it takes 3 days just to get acclimated. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it's like you're kind of worn out from all the electronics. But yeah, I always enjoy it. I mean, it's fascinating to go to see like the water show at the Bellagio. I mean, that's impressive. I mean, that is amazing. Presentation of of every aspect of performance. Visually and costumes and the that platform is impressive.
Right. Well, the whole place is a production. Whether it's the breakfast place we go, or
Right.
or just walking down
Pepper
or the
Mill.
mall. Right, exactly.
Right.
We're just walking down an indoor mall where there's sunsets and clouds overhead and things like that.
It's mind. That's the thing that's so impressive and is interesting, because through the years how it's changed. And here's one of the good things I think about Vegas is that what happened was once the hotels all got out of their own way, their own egos, and started cooperating with each other and got pedestrian flow. Because when they built all the overpasses and they connected all the hotels and they have the what is it called, what's the rapid?
Monorail.
The monorail, and they put all that in. Boy, they got people moving, millions of people moving. So
it's impressive.
Impressive, yeah. Absolutely. So now we've talked about a lot of different things here. So what else is going on with John Barnes that we should know?
Gee, I don't know. It's
your car is crippled right now.
Yeah, my car is crippled right now. Matter of fact, it's in the shop. I hope to pick it up. I hope they're going to put it back together today, and I'll be able to pick it up. Unfortunately, it seems like there's a part is needed for the car that
not
going to be easy to find, and it's going to certainly throw any repairs till after Labor Day. So I said, we'll put the car back together again. It still was operational. Had a little bit of a clickety sound when it was idling, but so basically I'm paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars to basically put the car back together so I can use it for a few more days, and then next week we'll try to figure out how to actually solve the mechanical problems. If it's not mechanical problems, it's plumbing problems with the haze machine, or it's electrical problems with the stage lights, or it's mounting problems so the lasers are pointed in the safe areas, so it's always a project. It's not like I get up and the car is ready to go every day. Matter of fact, maybe you'd like to show people a little bit what the old cab looked like, the one that I drove from the 80s until about 3 years ago. We have a little clip of that. Do you want to bring that up, or are we at the wrong time?
I don't know. It's a classic checkered cab.
Right.
That's
Checker Marathon, Bill, the one that you see on the first clip. I got it in 1983 and drove it until 2014. So that was a pretty good run for one car. And this is one of the later videos I just shot messing around in the car about a few months before we retired it.
You keep wanting to go in that direction. Are we going to go in that direction? Here we go. Let's check it out.
Come back to us with the glasses on.
Are we back? I don't see no red light over there. What's going on? Oh, okay, now we are. Oh, right. Without
Wow.
love, where would we be now? Right? We need more love. I tell you, especially in these times.
It's a great song, Doobie Brothers. It makes people happy. They always
Yeah.
like it. I enjoy playing it. God, I've played it hundreds and hundreds of times.
I
So
love the Doobie
thank you.
Brothers, the Doobies. And you
Anyway,
got to have these special glasses. These are cool glasses to, to witness this experience because, it's like tripping, you don't have to do any drugs. You just put these gloves on and it says on there, love, groovy, peace, and flowers and all that good stuff. Yeah, you got to
yes,
have it.
these are spectrum analyzers or diffraction grading glasses that create stars of the spectral analysis of whatever light you're looking at. So if you're looking at a star, say in the sky, you would see the what the star was made of based on the lines of what colors the star was made from. These are what scientists use in front of telescopes to figure out how far away and how hot stars are, things like that. But in the cab, they make all the rainbows like fireworks. It's like
Right.
explosions of color when you have 1,000 lights flashing. The music, well, some people can only handle them for about 10 or 15 seconds, and a rare few wear them for the whole ride.
Far out, man. That's what it says on the
Grow
glass.
up, and come on, grow up.
Well, cool, man.
No, never grow up.
No, absolutely. The child in me is forever going to play. Well, they're fun to play with. You can put them on the lens of a camera too, and you can have some fun visual pictures. Okay, so how'd you like that? Wasn't that fun? So now you might get a little taste of what it's like to ride in the ultimate taxi. So call John and get away. All his information will be posted. His webpage and phone number and all that. So give him a call and take a ride in the ultimate taxi. So now we were. Where were we? So much going on because we've done so much in in this lifetime.
Where are we? I don't know.
Where are we in conversation? I know where we are. I think we're at GrassRoots TV in the studio, and this is Lifestyles of the Poor and Unknown. So, brought to you, by GrassRoots TV. I was saying where were we? Because we were talking, and then we jumped over into looking at an experience with the taxi. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
fun. That was fun. And
Well, it's fun. It's a fun. I built the job because I was trying to have fun at work, and it became highly complex and a project that and it's never finished because I'm always thinking about, well, what could I do to make it, refine it a little bit, and make the show a little bit more fun. So, but I'm obsessed. What can I say? I'm an obsessed artist. That
yeah. Understandable. I can relate to that. That's what they said, eccentric. Okay, so we're coming to, one of the things that I now remember what I was thinking about was that, you got to know, this cab is what, 86?
This one's an '81, the new cab.
New cab's 81.
That's the last year they made these old Checkers. They all look like '57 Chevy Bel Airs, but they kept the model of the car, Checker Motors, the
And-
same, so that cab companies could easily swap out parts. The body parts would fit, so two cabs that had minor accidents could be
Sure.
shoveled into one car quickly.
And it's a classic image. Every time you see a movie that has New York in it, you're going to see a yellow checker cab pass by in some scene.
It's an
some
iconic
image.
car, and
Yeah,
and
it's
kind
just like
of-
the Apple with New York.
And there's not really very many that you can take rides in because no actual taxi service will, will have a car in it that's 30 some odd years old. So and there are a few cars. I think there's 1,000 left in the world.
Well-
Did you know that there are 1 billion cars in the world? Which means it's a 1 in a million, and I have 2 of them.
And you have to come to Aspen to experience this one.
You do,
Because this one's very
It's
special.
probably the only place you can take a ride in a Checker cab,
Maybe, it could be.
unless you have a friend that's got one.
Well, and it's hard to get parts. That's the thing about where you are right now with the repair. It's not easy to find repair parts. Well, John, we're coming to a closure here, and we'll take another ride in the ultimate taxi.
Yeah, this is the new taxi. This is
no.
this
Okay.
is the one that I realized a few years ago that the one from the '80s was disintegrating, and maybe I had a couple more years of fun left in me, and maybe I could throw together another show. So it was very complex because the first one I built over 20 some odd years. This one I kind of whipped up in about 10 or 11 weeks, it's still being improved. But
And you're
here's a
driving
little
it.
clip that kind of shows you what the new cab looks like.
And you're driving it a lot, so it gets worn out. It's like anything that gets old, it gets worn out. Like my knees get worn out. Hey, we're going to take another ride.
Okay, let's go.
Are you ready? You think Pee Wee would want to take a ride?
Yeah, Pee Wee, you want this? Thank you. Hold your applause.
Wow, what a ride. I'm like tripping, man.
You notice I don't wear these while I'm driving, but
He lets the
I
passengers-
should have a pair where I've cut out the lenses, so when I hand them to you, I put on a pair that makes it impossible to really see where you're going or where your hand is in front of your face. But
Yeah, you can fool people. You don't let them know. You don't let them see. You put them on. They see you put them on, and then they're going, he's driving with those glasses on. You'll be driving like going, what's
hey,
that?
Hinton,
What?
thanks for having me on your show.
Hey, John.
I really appreciate it.
John, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it too. You made it very special.
I don't know if it was a good interview. Yeah, I'm not very good at this stuff. I'm better when I'm in the front seat. But we try to
We did it.
try
We
to
did- hey,
entertain and amuse.
Remember, what did they say? 90% of success is showing up. We showed up. I mean, the other 10%, I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
John has. John's very successful.
I wouldn't go that far.
But again, I thank you. Thank you very much for coming on, being on a show, and just chatting with me. It's always fun to hang out with you. I don't feel like it's any different than any other time I come to your house and we hang out, we talk, we go on little adventures together, and we just hang out and talk. So, and again, thank you very much. This is Lifestyles of the Poor and Unknown. And of course, this is presented to you by GrassRoots Community Network.
Hey, how
the
about the
oldest,
sponsor?
Huh?
And the sponsor? You
Well,
talk
the
about?
sponsors are going to be plugged.
Oh, okay,
They're
cool.
right. The oldest community access TV in the USA. Yeah, they'll be up.
Cool.
They're in the beginning.
Thanks.
They're in the very beginning. Yeah, that's Peter. Thanks, Peter.